I've got $100,000 deal that I've been texting with this lady every single day. Like, rapport building is a huge thing. Ask about their family, ask what they're working. If someone likes you, they're gonna work with you.
What about someone looking to get into this business? Who is it for too? I think that's an important thing.
Yeah, I think it's someone that really wants to have like freedom. If I have a doctor's appointment or I need to take my 1-year-old somewhere, I can do it. And what I've kind of learned is you're never gonna get rich working for someone else. If you really wanna have unlimited potential or amount of money you want to make, like this is it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host Ron Apke, joined today by one of our students, Kevin Kuhn. Kevin's been in the program, been in the community for about 20 months. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up? Glad to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you here. I think it's been a long time coming, and you've had a amazing journey. Like it seems like you're one of the people. There's a few people who bring deals every single week, and you're definitely one of them. Let's back up to February 2023 when you joined. What was your mindset like? What was your life like? What kind of got you into this?
Yeah, so kind of what started was I was in working with an investor doing houses for 5 years, and started off cold calling for him. Then kind of we started messaging people SMS. So I started handling that. Then we started basically hiring cold callers, hiring people for SMS. And I got to the point where I was basically running his business for him, negotiating, doing comps, doing pretty much everything, getting the deals under, get them contracts signed. And then I'd hand off to him. He'd do the dispo side. So we actually did we weren't doing any land deals, and we got one land deal that we made $100,000 on, and I was like, light bulb went off. I was like, this is what I need to be doing. I kept talking to him like, we need to be doing land, like not houses. There's like 10 other people calling these people, let's get into land. But he never really kind of got that. So then at a point I was just like, I'm going to get involved. I was watching a bunch of podcasts, found you guys, and I was like, these guys know what they're talking about. I watched a bunch of videos, and that's kind of what got me started into land. So
it was like until that deal, like you hadn't thought about land.
No, I'd never even thought about land.
Wow.
But I was like, we got paid like $100,000 on it. And I was like, that was so easy. Like we literally like, I don't even know if I talked to that. Like it was texting back and forth, got it locked up in like one day, and then made $100,000. I was like, okay, we need to get into land.
What was the mindset going into that deal? Like, did you guys feel comfortable? Did you feel comfortable comping it out?
He wasn't even, so he like partnered up with someone for funding it. Like normally we were funding it all ourselves. He was worried about like we weren't going to make money and stuff. And I'm like, dude, we're going to make money on this. I know we will. And then we made $100,000, and I was like,
wow,
okay, land's where it's at. Like that's where I need to be doing stuff. So
some of the most successful people, and like, cause you have that proof of concept before you come in. Some people need proof of concept for land, for the business model in general. And like you had proof of concept, you had a motivated seller who was willing to sell far below market value. You saw that you can sell land. It's not, because those are the biggest hurdles. Like who's going to sell me land and who am I going to sell it to? Like those are the biggest questions we have when people come in, and you had proof of concept. Talk about that a little bit. Like when you started in February, like actually with your land business, was that an easy part for you as far as like, because you understood the asset?
Yeah, I understood. Yeah, that we could definitely. I just knew the competition wasn't what it was like at houses, so I knew like, I'm very salesy. I'm not like data driven, those kind of things. So like, I knew like if I got people on the phone, I could get deals, and there's definitely land out there. And you guys had proved it already, knowing you know what I mean. You guys are getting plenty of deals. So yeah, I just started doing mail. That first year, I really just did mail. Like I didn't do texting. I wasn't really, we had a baby too. So that kind of locked up like 3 months of my year. Just, having a baby is kind of a blur those first couple months with them. But, so I did a decent amount of deals, but all were like smaller. And then, kind of how that framed into this next year, me and Frank were talking back and forth. And that's one thing too I want to mention, like working with people. Like I've talked to like probably 40 or 50 people that are in the group. So like if I have questions, I just hit them up right away and they'll help you out, kind of back and forth with the group. That's one thing. But me and Frank had been really close talking about deals, those kind of things. So we're like, why don't we just business up or put our business together? So we started mailing out, did like 30,000 mailers. We got a few deals, but not as many as kind of what we expected. And then Frank kind of decided, hey, I kind of want to focus on something else. So it was back to just me. And I was like, I need to go back to what we were doing at houses. Like we were cold calling, we were texting, you know what I mean? And I'm very like impatient too. So I want to like talk to people right away. So that texting, that's great. You know what I mean? You shoot off those texts, you're getting messages right away. And then just recently, the last month or two, I've put a cold calling team together as well. So
Nice. So you're kind of so these last when did that partnership dissolve?
that dissolved after the first quarter. So really, this last like what are we like 6 months? That's really when I've gotten traction, kind of starting to like build everything out to the point where I want it to
So
be.
what is? Let's just talk about your like monthly stuff right now. Not necessarily. I mean, how many deals you're getting is great, but it's hard to predict sometimes.
Yeah.
But how many texts are you sending? How much are you cold calling, and then also the direct mail if you're still doing that.
Yeah, so I'm not no direct mail at all right now. It's all texting and cold calling. So I do 20,000 text messages a month, so about 1,000 a day, or you know, obviously from day to day it differs. But then I've got three cold callers as well. So they're cold calling lists, and also too, like I know you guys always talk about like you've got the data, like you've skip traced it, like you might as well text the people. And I was thinking you might as well cold call the people. Like you've got the stuff. It's cheap to like get a cold caller to do it. So that's kind of where that all came from. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm set up right now with the cold calling and the texting. So
To be honest, Kevin, like going into this interview, I was like, Kevin's like, oh, he grinds himself. I didn't know you had a team. That's awesome. Like, you
well,
have a team
yeah,
of.
it's somewhat of a team. Like I'm
Yeah.
still like I'm doing all the texting myself. Like I definitely could. I like to like kind of be in control, and I need to like kind of. I'm definitely getting to the point now where I'm getting too many deals, and there's too much going on that I'm gonna hire someone to like kind of keep stuff under control. And like I just got a CRM probably like a couple months ago because really with mail I didn't have that many leads. Like I could keep track of it myself. Um,
So
yeah.
texting and cold calling, how are you combining those two as far as like what, or is it just like we have the data, just keep on, let's get in touch with these people?
Yeah, pretty much just get in touch with these people, like texting them all, and then I've got the cold callers calling. I've got my own dialer, two that I watch every day, and I got them through Upwork, which I kind of like, where they've got you can actually like track what they're doing, which is cool. So like I know they're calling, and I can see what they're doing every kind of moment of the day. And then I did outsource one cold caller to like a customer service. That's through Upwork as well. But just kind of seeing who's doing better, and then I'll decide how I kind of want to move forward from there. So,
You said your deal volume is getting a little bit out of control. What does that deal volume look like on a month-to-month basis right now?
like right now, like last week I did two deals. This week I did one deal, and I've already got like properties in what Missouri, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee. So like it's just me like trying to run
Yeah.
everything, and it's definitely getting out of control. So I need to. I've got a good friend that I had I was doing houses, and he's working for a guy doing houses now. So I figured out what his income is, and just kind of like what you guys talked about, like literally one deal pays for some of these employees. So that's going to be my next hire, so he can kind of, and he's really good at calling people and negotiating, so he can help me out with leads coming in because I've got leads coming in from different places. But I did hire someone off of Upwork to just like basically with Zapier connect everything with the dialer, with the launch control, all those kind of things to the CRM. So
That's really cool. It sounds like you're growing quite a bit. What are like profit numbers on a month-to-month basis that you, I mean, obviously month-to-month it's different. I think you brought us a big deal this week. Maybe I'm wrong.
yeah, I'm starting to get like mostly I was just doing smaller deals, which I was trying to like self fund. That's another thing I would mention to like people new starting off. Like that first year, I was trying to self fund everything myself. So then like I ran out of marketing money, and then I was like, oh shit. So then you've really got to be smart up front. Like I would definitely get deal funders. And now with the whole new deal funder platform, like that's awesome. Like I just kind of saw that firsthand sending in a deal. I think last week, like I had three or four funders call me that are like pitching me ideas and trying to like negotiate. So like that's awesome. So the whole new deal funding is cool. But yeah, I was doing smaller deals. Now I'm getting like a lot bigger deals. I think I have like a 60,000 profit deal that I'm actually trying to double close. I've got a realtor going out there today to look at it. It's at title, but he's got someone really interested. And then I've got $100,000 deal that I've been texting with this lady every single day. Like that's another thing. Like rapport building is a huge thing when you're first starting. Like I try not to like just be it like transactional. Like ask about their family, ask what they're working. Like if someone likes you and someone like feels good about being around you, they're gonna work with you. So that's kind of what I try to do, and that's kind of I think why I've been so successful
Is that
at
kind of your sales strategy? Is
yeah,
that rapport
sales
building?
strategy. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I interviewed two other people yesterday, and they said the exact same thing as far as rapport, and like they're not hard like close this deal sales. Like give them some time, build some
Yeah,
relationship. They'll come back
yeah,
to you.
yeah.
Who was it? It was Chad who had a $150,000 deal that like he said that was 100% from rapport. Like he
No,
was on the
no.
podcast that came out on YouTube last night, and he said it was just like he had a competing offer, but he ended up getting the deal. I don't think you realize, Kevin, like your trajectory. Like you're gonna 2025 is gonna be a big year for you. Like I don't
Yeah,
think you
yeah,
fully like
yeah,
you are. Things are clicking. I hear it the way you're talking about things. You understand how to get deals happening. What does 2025 look like if we go a year from now or 14 months from now when it's December of 2025? Like what is going to make you happy in that moment in terms of like a
yeah.
successful
I
year?
would really like to do like 500,000. Obviously more would be great, but I think with the land portal, the stuff that you guys have done with land portal, like it gives us advantage over any other land flipper. Like with the frontage, like the street frontage, the landlocked properties, like out of state. Like what I'm kind of focusing now, what I've noticed is a lot of my clients or sellers are like out of state. So like I'm just texting people, like I'll do a bunch of counties and they're all out of state people. So like there's a better chance of getting those. So using the land portal, that's you know what I mean, I've had so many people being like, "Oh, I can get you data. I can get you data." I'm like, "I've got the land portal. Like it's so much better than anything you can get me." So that's a big thing. But yeah, trying to really kind of build this team out and have a successful
Are you
2000.
trying to go after some project based things, or kind of when they come in, they come in?
Yeah, kind of when they come in, they come in. But yeah, I need to start doing more like road frontage, subdivides, those kind of things. Double closing, that's a huge thing that I've been doing. I've been getting a bunch of double closes just recently, a couple. And you know, what I mean, how I position it to people, basically, I give them two options. I say, "Hey, do you need the money really quick? I can do that." Or option B, if you give me 90 days, I can do this. So I don't really give them an option for working with someone else. It's like, pick one of these two, you're working with me type of thing. So,
How many double closes have you done?
just like, so I haven't really, I just started really like, I was like, I need to start doing double closes. So now I have like 3 or 4 double closes, one in Alabama, one in Tennessee, this one in Georgia, probably will end up being a double close. I've got a deal funder for it, but, like I said, I'm already having interest in buying it, making 60,000 on that one. So
Yeah, I was talking to Dylan yesterday, and Dylan texted me. He's like, "Yeah, I have double close because I'm going to get him on the podcast later this month."
uh-huh.
He's like, "Yeah, you have a deal closing, buy for 575, sell for 850."
That's
I'm like,
nuts.
"My
Yeah.
God," and that's double close, no money out of
Yeah.
his pocket. Like he'll
Yeah.
get a transactional funder for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give a
And
couple.
transactional funding is so easy to get. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. People get their money back, and it's everyone's happy. You get two
Yeah.
percent on the same day. I think they're going to be happy as well.
Yeah.
Let's
Yep.
let's back up a little bit to some roadblocks, some hurdles, because you've come a long way from where you
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
18, 20 months ago, obviously,
Yeah.
and a lot has happened then. What kind of, whether it's mental roadblocks, anything like that, what kind of did you go over these last 18 months, that a struggle point maybe?
Yeah, I think just being consistent, that's one thing. Like waking up every day doing the exact same thing is one thing because in this job, you know what I mean, you don't have a boss, you're the boss. So like if someone isn't telling you what to do, it's easy just to be like, well, let me just take off a couple days, those kind of things. So being consistent, having a plan, what you're going to do each day. So that's definitely some roadblocks that I had. And then obviously when you're doing mail, it can be kind of frustrating sometimes just because like sometimes you'll be like you have 3 or 4 people call in and really be interested and then sometimes you won't have anyone and just the waiting process. But I would say 100% if you have an 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, do mail because like part-time, it's you set up your answering service, they're going to pick up the phone calls, and then you can call out to them whenever you get a chance to. So yeah, definitely some obstacles there, but big thing, just staying consistent, I think, is a big thing.
Was quitting land ever anything that ever popped in your head?
Um, Not pop. Like my wife's is like, is this really gonna work? And she's like, you're putting out all this money each month. Like, I'm telling her that I'm spending like $200 a day on texting, just getting the data and skip tracing. She's like, are you sure about this? But now that like deals are really starting to come in, she's like, okay, so I'm not gonna work anymore. And
You need to work some more on this land
yeah,
business
yeah.
now.
She's like, so I'm gonna be a stay-at-home mom. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh gosh, okay, so
Yeah, it's there's definitely times when like especially with mail like you said, like mail can be because it is not a cheap thing like and then
yeah,
you think it's a failure. And that's why I love whether you're doing cold calling or doing like you need it's a marketing business now, Kevin.
yeah,
I'm sure like over the 20 months you've probably seen it transition a lot. Like one touch point's not enough. I'm not saying you can't get deals from one piece of mail or one text, but
yeah,
one touch point just is not going to be as efficient as sending two, three touch points, whatever it is. And it seems like that's what your business, you've kind of built your business on is like, let's get in contact with these damn potential sellers. Let's
yeah,
figure it out how to get them on the phone. And then you'll take it from there as far as
yeah.
you just need motivated sellers on the phone. That's all you need to find a way to
Yeah,
do.
yep. And that's one thing I jotted down. Like when I was doing houses, me and my investor, like we called it savage follow up. Like you have to be like savage following up with people. Like you have to stay on them. Like this $100,000 deal. I text with this lady every single day. Like every night she's like, "Oh, you're so sweet." Like I was having people like inviting me to birthday parties and stuff. Like I'm like I'm 3 states away. Like I don't even live there. Like but that's like those are the people that are going to call you back like 6 months later or whenever they're ready to sell, they're going to reach out to you rather than someone else. So
Yeah, that's 100%. What do
yeah.
you going back to 2025? What are you trying to like improve on? Like whether it's something a skill set of yours, or maybe part of your business. What are you trying to really improve on?
Really just like setting up, getting the business to the point where like it can run without me because that's my one worry is like, hey, I'm sick for a week or something happens to me. Like if I'm out, the business stops. So I always, that's why I kind of want to get that person that's kind of handling more of the deals. I'll still obviously be comping stuff and working with you guys. Like it's great because, you know, I mean, you guys are reviewing deals 2 times a week or Anthony can do it. So being part of the group is great. And you know, I mean, you're like connected with other land investors. I'm always on Discord, always reading what people are saying. Like that's how you're learning. Like no one knows everything. You've always got to be learning new things, those kind of things. So
Yeah, I think some people take the community for granted. They're not active
yeah,
in the community.
yeah,
And you, through ups and downs, like even when you were with Frank and everything like that, I still always saw you guys like in the community talking to
yeah,
people, giving
yeah,
opinions, and it's valuable too because there's one day when you'll probably be a funder or something like that, where you're
yeah,
on the other
yeah,
side of things.
yeah,
You're building these relationships and helping people out. Like you're not only helping people who are thinking about getting into this business. You're like you said with roadblocks stuff like that. You're helping people get over those hurdles as well. And that's all some people need. Like it's a little Discord message
yeah,
that like no, this deal's it's fine. Like this is a normal thing. Like that's a
yeah,
lot of people try to put in their frustrations or stuff like that. It's normal to have frustrations. You're trying to
yeah,
build a business, and I
yeah,
think that's
yeah,
what you're gonna finally like. I think 2025 you're gonna finally kind of see what that really payoff is, and I'm
yeah,
excited. I you're gonna blow past that 500K goal. I really
yeah.
think
I
you
really
can.
hope so. Yeah.
But what about someone looking to get into this business? What do they need to be thinking about? What do they need to be doing? Who is it for, too? I think that's an important thing.
Yeah, I think it's someone that really wants to have like freedom. Like that's the one thing like if I have a doctor's appointment or I need to take my 1-year-old somewhere, I can do it and still have this business. You know what I mean? I've got the cold callers calling. I don't have to text for a day. So freedom. And what I've kind of learned is I've got a younger brother that's very, very successful. He sold his first business for like millions of dollars. Now he's got another business. So watching him kind of like being like you're never going to get rich working for someone else, so like having your own business, like if you really want to have unlimited potential or amount of money you want to make, like this is it. Like $1,000 is all I paid. I'm not sure what it is to join the course now, but like you guys have the motto, like you know what I mean. I think it's Landon or those guys, like they literally just jumped in and like used his debit card for 45,000 or whatever it was, but you know what I mean, he jumped into it. Now he's making crazy money. So anyone can do it, and obviously you can do it part time, having an 8 to 5, those kind of things. And something other thing I was gonna mention, just like important for new people, is like building those relationships with realtors. Like I have a realtor in Missouri that like I literally, after I did one deal with him, I was like, tell me all the counties you work with, and then I just flooded all the texts, all the messages. We got like 3 or 4 deals in Missouri. Like I'll just text him quick. He'll be like, this is what it's worth. Like exactly. He's got the MLS. So those kind of things. Title companies, oh my God, title companies have saved me for so many deals. Like a lot of older people, they think, oh, this is a scam. This is blah, blah, blah. I have a lady that like, even if I don't do title work with her, I'll send clients to call her and she'll talk them into like working with me. So those are really important things as well that I want to mention. So
Yeah, referrals and that kind of just like people being able to talk well about your business is very
yeah,
valuable.
yeah,
On I think one of the podcasts yesterday, like I've done surveys of sellers. Sellers aren't mad at us ever.
no,
Like
no,
they're never. We do surveys and like not try to find a bad one, but I say it's anonymous, all this other stuff, and we're like like what's actually going on? What are your mindset? They're just happy to get money fast.
yeah, yeah,
And like that's what a lot of new people struggle with. They think like they're scamming people. And Shelby, who I talked to yesterday, she kind of said the exact same thing. Like her business changed when her mindset changed, and she viewed what we're doing as valuable to the sellers because it
yeah,
really is. That's such a good point. You talked a little bit about your freedom, and I talked to 3 people yesterday. Their freedom, our mission at Land Investing Online is provide freedom through land.
yeah.
What you said, doctor's appointment, that kind of stuff. Is it just like freedom of time that you're looking for?
Well, yeah, like freedom of time, have my own business, make, I mean, unlimited amount of money. Like I'm not locked into like where I used to be like my salary was $50,000. That's the most I could make. You know what I mean? Like no matter what I did, as hard as I worked, now like if I work harder, I'm gonna make an extra $100,000 or 200,000 or whatever it is. So that's big. And then obviously I've got 2 other brothers. Like we go on golf trips, so like I can go on those golf trips and not worry about stuff. Like I'm the boss. Like I don't have to I don't have to worry about that investor. I can kind of do whatever I want. So it's great. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel like work. Like I just kind of like love land now, and you know what I mean, those kind of things. So
Everyone's freedom's different for sure, and
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
coolest thing is it's we very intentionally like made that broad. It's not like find your
yeah,
financial freedom; it's find your
yeah,
freedom.
yeah, exactly.
Shelby's yesterday, she's like, I just want to be able to raise my daughter at home. Like that's all she
Yeah,
wanted. Like, and
yeah,
that made her so happy. And then she
that's
was
cool.
like, her smile on her face as far as like how happy she was yesterday just to be doing what she was doing. It's not like she had a crazy 2024 financially, but she was so happy to be able to raise
Yeah,
her daughter.
that's cool.
Anything else you can think of that just valuable for newer people, valuable for you got to realize Frank or Kevin, I called you Frank.
No,
You got to
you're good.
realize Kevin, like when you get out, we've only been doing this as far as education for 2.5 years or so. You've
Yeah,
been with us for 20 months. So
yeah,
you're obviously a tenured student.
yeah.
You've seen a lot of ups and downs for sure from other people, from yourself. Anything else you can kind of advice you can give for someone who's in for 6 months and they're struggling a little bit or anything like that?
Yeah, I would just say like everyone is different. Obviously, like if you're very salesy or you're data driven, you're scared to get on the phone, like you can hire someone to do the sales or do the data, those kind of things. But there's going to be ups and downs with any business. Like you're not going to make money every month, but there's going to be months where you're making tons of money. So don't really let that get you down. Stay positive, those kind of things. Yeah, I would just if or you know what I mean if you're not in the group, like join the group. Like I always look at that the Discord channel of the people that aren't in the group asking these questions. I'm just like, just pay the $1,000 and get in. Like you would learn all these things and you can have a successful business. So yeah,
Going back quite a bit, what were your mindset going in? I guess you had all that proof of concept. Like you didn't have to do much research,
no.
but you probably were looking at different courses and stuff. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I talked to a couple different people that had their own courses, but I just kind of liked your guys' videos. I watched a bunch of videos. That's another thing. Like when you're first starting, watch all the modules. Like I probably watched 40 modules of like you guys comping deals, those Wednesday night calls. Like it got to the point where like I knew how to do it too, but just watching those kind of things. But yeah, I had proof of concept since we had did that huge land deal. So
and one thing that I like to mention is like a lot of people, one of the biggest things of successful people I see is they do what we teach and then they kind of put their own spin on it. And you went away from mail, which is great. Like
Yeah.
what works for you is like you want high volume of phone calls. Some people are working a 9 to 5, or maybe they're working more than that. Maybe they're working 60 hours a week. Like you probably are going to need to do mail. You're probably going to need to have an answering service, stuff like that. But putting your own spin on the business, you have any insight on that? Everyone I talk to, it's just a little bit different. Nephi, who I talked to, I've been saying Nephi for like 8 months, and he told me yesterday, like, sorry, but it's Nephi. He just didn't want to tell me. But Nephi, who I talked to yesterday, he said he's going after creative financing for some sellers. He's offering creative financing for not for the selling on his side, for actual sellers coming to him. He's offering creative financing, just little niches that you can go after. I think it's so important that everyone's doing that, I think.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many different ways to go at this business. Obviously, if like you want to do subdivides, double closes, seller financing, you know what I mean? There's just so many ways to find the buyers or find the sellers or whatever you need to do. And one thing too, I was gonna mention that I do some really weird stuff. Like I'm on Facebook Marketplace every day, so I've gotten double closes off there. There's
Wow.
double closes to be had off there. I think I've told this story before. I bought a property off there for 5,000, did seller financing for 24, got 13 down. Like so, like I find deals off there. Craigslist, I've done a deal off of. So like you kind of have to hustle, obviously. Like you know what I mean, if you're not getting deal or not having a lead that day, there's other places to find deals. There's people that want to sell land. So
I forgot that one. I remember you saying that
yeah,
now that you said it, but I forgot
yeah,
that. That's incredible. You got a $5,000.
yeah.
Are you still getting paid for that?
Yeah, I'm still getting paid $500 a month.
Oh
on
my
that one.
goodness.
So, yeah,
How much more?
yeah.
How many more months do they have?
I still have like 10 months on that one.
Wow.
So yeah, that one's been great. But yeah, I'm trying to do more seller financing. If I can kind of build up like 3-4 grand a month, you know what I mean? That's a regular business or regular job, 50,000 hour or $50,000 job that's just coming in. And then obviously I'll have all my other deals too. So, yep.
That's awesome, Kevin.
Yeah.
Well, I'm proud of where you've come. Like it's
Yeah,
amazing to see, and I appreciate all the engagement you have within our community. You're a huge voice
for
within
sure.
there. Thank you so much for coming on, guys. If you are watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button below. Spotify or Apple, leave us a review. Share this with a friend. It helps so much. Kevin, thank you so much for coming on, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much.
As always, thank you for joining. Please do us a huge favor and like and subscribe our YouTube channel and share this with a friend. It really means the world to Ron and I, but more importantly, it could help change the life of someone else. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next episode.